All right, so this is a random game. We filled the field fully, but they had to do it with bots, and it is a Saturday right around 12 noon. So you would think there would be enough
Awaiting
people playing to maybe
instructions.
fill tiers 4 and 5 or 5 and 6, but apparently not. They botted the field with 6 bots. But I prefer that to a short field or an asymmetrical field, and I think Wargaming needs to keep that in mind, that they've got to make the matchmaker fair. So at any rate, in this game, it's really 6 on 6, and that's why when you get a clan coming in or an intra-clan squad, it really skews the results, because instead of 12 players, it's only 6. You bring a squad of 3 in, or division of 3, now you
Let's give them a
compromise
hard time.
50% of the human field. And that is not random. That's a tremendous advantage. And I believe that needs addressed too. Not bringing in divisions unless a like kind division can be spawned on the other side. So let's see if there's any divisions in this game. No, there's not. It's just individual players.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Clans like to division in to increase win rate. Most of the people you see in the clans that are carrying, 60 and 65% win rate, they're not really capable of that, of coming in alone and having a truly random game. And that's why they do it. There's prestige in carrying a high number for them, and they'll go so far as to learn on one nick and then create a new nick so that their win rate is reflected as higher on it. It happens all the time. I just don't believe in that kind of shenanigan. You play on the nick,
Enemy battleship
yeah,
sighted.
you learned on. Yeah.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
So I looked over the field, and in my opinion, there's only one ship I have to be careful of. I'm not afraid of any DD. I've got Hydro, and I actually chase DDs. I engage DDs. DDs do not scare me. Not in a cruiser, and not even in a battleship, really. But the ship that I'm concerned about is the Rio de Janeiro, and my entire game will be based upon not giving this guy a clear shot at me, to whittle me down. If I don't take a broadside from the Rio de Janeiro, I figure that we're going to win this game,
Enemy
and I'm going to
battleship
have a good
spotted.
game. Is it 3-6?
Enemy cruiser detected.
I think I altered to, I'm not sure, I might have altered to HE on that last volley.
Destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Destroyer detected.
So that one was a little further out. Did I read it right? Oh, that was perfectly. Then I decrease it because I see the fire in the chimney there. He lost power. So then I get another pretty good hit. Now he's got a little even less. I'm not sure if I got him there or not. No, I didn't. Overpens. I must have missed his midships.
Battleship sighted.
So we got a pretty compelling lead already.
Team has taken the lead.
And I'm just watching the Rio.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
He's playing the typical battleship player's game. So then they lose an Acosta too. So we got a substantial lead. But you always have to look at the real players. So let's see how many real players they have left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they've lost 2. They lost the Musaki and 2 of their DDs. So then we lose a bot. The bots, I like to hit the bots. If I have a chance to hit a live player first, I do. But it's important to take the bots out of the game, because if you just focus live players, the bots will sneak around the corner, and eventually they'll get to a point where they dogpile you, where you get a little overwhelmed by them, and you don't want that to happen. So you do focus the live players, but you also take the bots out at every opportunity. The other thing I like to do, because the bots are low AI, is get out of their detection, and then they change their guns. They forget about you. They're always programmed to go over for the most available ship. And then you pop out of sight and pop back in sight, and they've forgotten about you. See, his guns are going a different direction now. And the same's true of real players, too. If there's not a ready target, most real players will find the best available target. So it makes sense, but...
Our team has taken the lead.
So that was a real player. I've played with Boat CC before. I'm not going to shame him. He's clearly a new player. I just wish the new players wouldn't go immediately into DDs and random. What they like is not being seen. The longer they say that they can be undetected, the better their chance is of staying alive. But the guys that are playing not to be seen, they don't understand the game. They don't understand that being on the front with a destroyer and spotting is their primary role, and that's what swings games. But, you know, they don't know anything about that, and it takes them a long time, and they don't try to figure it out either. So then we lose a real player, and then so now I think it's about even. Yeah, even game. So I see the 3 players heading towards, you know, our base, and I just decide, well, I better head back there and make sure we don't give away a cheap base steal. And I'm keeping my ass to the Rio de Janeiro. He's basically at max range there, but I'm not giving him a clear shot at me until I lose detection. So, you know, this is a battleship tier 4, the Yavuz, but I don't want him camped in our zone because I'm looking at the play of the Wu fighter there, and I don't believe Wu fighter has a clue what he's doing, and he could definitely get killed by a bot. So I'm coming in to discourage the hill. The hill's leaving there, and also to take out this bot. I think the Rio's far enough away from me that I can risk broadside to him. This is really the first time in the game he's getting it, but he's out there at about, I would say, 19K. What is he? Where is he? Yeah, 18.4. You got to ask yourself, what is our Gamenshi, that DD, what is he doing that far back in the zone? You know, how in the world did he play a game where he's at the back of the board?
Torpedoes, direct front.
So I've got them off, and I'm just angling into him in case he gets a volley off at me.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
So it's 4-4, and we're behind on points, 40 points, because I think because we let enemy ships into our zone. Let me see. Yeah, because it's the exact same symmetry in regard to remaining ships. So we let enemy ships in our zone for long enough that they got a 40-point lead. So we need a kill, and you know, I'm taking that on myself. I have no idea what I've got here with me. I know the Gamenshi there is not a top scale player. He's definitely a guy that's, you know, back of the board player. And then the New York in the back of the zone, he's still in the back of the zone. He hasn't budged. So there's the target, the Omaha. Now my concern is where's the Rio de Janeiro, and because they've got a 40-point lead, he may have retreated. He may be towards the back of the board too, but I don't know where he is, and that's a danger. So that was AP. I saw him angling in, so he shifted to HE. I also have lost track of that island that's directly in front of me, and I'm trying to change my speed and direction in case the Rio's targeting me. Like I said, that's the only ship I'm seeing. And most of those went over, so I readjust. Yeah, it worked.
That's how it's done. Enemy cruiser destroyed.
So yeah, there's the destroyer saying that's how it's done. Well done. You know, I accept the accolade, but the fact that I had to do it is perplexing. You know, so really what I'm looking at now is now we have the lead, and there's no need for me to push. Here comes the Rio. This was the ship I was afraid of, and he was probably behind the island when I had my difficulty with getting grounded. And a Rio, in case you didn't know, is basically an Agincourt without the super duper secondaries. It's got secondaries, but not the super dupers. So the way it stands, I may be the only one on the team that understands we're ahead. I mean, you got this Svetlana out there, you know. Let me show you. I may be the only one that understands that we're ahead. This Svetlana, I'm assuming he's keeping this island between him and the ship, but I don't know for sure. Here's this battleship stayed back all game, and now there's a destroyer in the game, and he's suddenly got confidence that he's going to come out now. And now's not the time, but that's what he does. So I'm just trying to get some fires going on this Rio. And I'm using my little technique where they're spotting for me, fortunately. But I just have the ass of my ship showing, and he can't see me. So I keep the rear guns firing around the corner, but I'm not detected by the ship I'm firing at. And that works fine as long as I have a spotter. So there's another fire. So I got a couple good reaching fires on it. And what he's done, he's gone into an angle, and he's fighting, I think, the battleship, our battleship, trying to maintain his angle. I thought he might be a better player, but after this little incident, I'm just kind of hanging there, and I'm pretty much convinced he's not. So that's the destroyer that's worked its way behind me. And then look at this Svetlana. You know, we're one ship up only. That Svetlana is going out to the open. And if he goes down and the Rio doesn't, we're behind again.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
So the New York got him. Now look where the New York's going. And now we're up 2 ship, but there goes the Svetlana. So if that New York goes down, we're behind. And I realize what they're going to do. This Gamachi is played from the back of the board all game. He did spot that battleship from afar. So that allowed me to keep guns on him. But this Gamachi, whatever it is at the back of the board the entire game. Just not, is he going to win? Yes, he is. Is he going to win due to superior play? No, he's not. So that their hill too, their DD hasn't won a play at all. So at any rate, it's been one of those tier 5 games where you never know what you're going to get, So what I'm doing is I'm going into it. I would prefer to hang back, make them come to us, have our DD spot the perimeter so they can catch them coming in, and then shoot at the ones that push. But here we are, making the push, going into them. You always make them come to you if you can, but our guys, especially the Wu fighter, all he needs is to find that DD. Those hills are good DDs. I don't think their hill's a good DD player, but I've got to charge out in case that DD pops up to protect this New York, because we can't lose one ship. We can't lose one ship. We lose one ship, we lose this game. So this cagey hill, very cagey and shrewd. He backed in. He's hoping to catch a spot so he can accelerate away and smoke. I mean, just not very bold play. So that's Svetlana retired to the back of the board,
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
So, I thought it's possible that he'll let a rack out at me. So I just popped my hydro. I want to get I've got AP loaded up. I want to try to get a AP volley at him. That one I turned and he turned and I didn't do very well. Another pen. That was a little odd. That should have been better, I thought. Doing very well. Hard to get a citadel on that board, I guess. So that's the game. Like I said, at this level you don't know what you're gonna get, but I just enjoy it more because you don't have the super arcade, the dynamics and the gameplay. I just think are more consistent. That wasn't my best game, but it wasn't bad. So that being said, let's look briefly at Drunk Sailors information. This was the game. I was on a little bit of a losing streak. I had a couple losses in here. one of which was predicted as a win. But this was the game, based upon predictions. I guess on this I should be 4-1. Or what is it? It's only 5 games. I should be 4-1, and I'm actually 3-2. But I didn't have any problem with the matchmaking in any of these games. I thought it was fair in all of them, including the one I just played. And I did determine that after the match, the colorful page that shows the win rates and the conditions of the ship, that goes away. You don't retain that. That's my belief. But so there's a lot of information here. How good it is at identifying a field that is a bad spawn and is not fair matchmaking. It's a tool, it's an aid, but I don't think it's the last word. Here's Potato Alert on this very game. And Potato Alert had us a point favorite with a pretty significant damage difference. That's 27 to 30. That's 6,000. That's significant. And this guy that I didn't really like his play at all. He's got a good. This is guy. He learned on one nick. He's back on a new, but not a style of play that I would want on my team if I was in a battle. I really don't want this guy on my team, just because he's just a little bit too tentative. This guy went out quickly. I was the only other one with any significant damage. Wow. It's really hard for me to believe that this hill, the way he played, had this kind of, well, it's changed now. Now he's I think that was 5 for 8. Now he's 5 for 9, so that went down to about 55%. So, did it predict the winner? Yes, it did. I was worried about this guy with the hidden stats. I knew his stats were hidden. But in retrospect, I think they were hidden for not a positive reason. I wish they wouldn't do this. I wish they would do away with stat hiding, because there's real no reason for it. And I think we have a right to know what kind of ships we're facing. And also, I think it's important for the matchmaker to make a good match, because somebody without indicated stats, they get treated as a non-mathematical, position. They don't get considered in the matchmaker. So stat hiding needs to be removed from the game. Got to remove stat hiders. And if it's embarrassing to you, and you're only winning at 35%, well, you're going to have to learn how to play better. And, there's an argument that someone that's playing at 35%, maybe they should find another game. Maybe they should play in co-op or find another game that they can excel at. So that's that.